All 4 series have played 2 games, Nika, at least for a couple more hours as of this recording, because Seattle and the Tigers will be getting underway at 1 o'clock Pacific time in the afternoon. That would be 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
So that will be game 3 today of their series, as the Blue Jays and Yankees will be getting underway in the evening hours afterwards. So they get the late primetime slot. Of course they do, because they're New York. We'll talk about that in a minute. But now we are sitting here with 3 of the 4 matchups in the League Division Series at 2-0. The Dodgers and the Brewers both go up 2-0 over the Phillies and Cubs, respectively. And, of course, the Blue Jays already up 2-0 on the Yankees, who are facing elimination tonight, which leaves the Mariners and Tigers as the only real competitive series we have right now at 1-1. And we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
But that's our last hope, I think, for a 5-game series in this round, because, well, comebacks are not unheard of when you're down 0-2, but they have about a 10% chance of happening, we learned.
Oh, wow. So that's not a lot.
10 out of 100 times it has happened. I guess in the division round, it hasn't been around for forever, because it's, been added in my lifetime, literally. So it's not like a permanent fixture of the game to go back like hundreds of years and say this has only happened 10% of the time, because it's literally happened 10% of the time since like 1998, I think.
Since this new system has been implemented.
At least since the division round system has existed.
Okay.
So yeah,
still 10% is not a lot. That's
it's
Hail
not
Mary.
a lot. It is, and of course, no matter what happens in New York and LA and now Wrigley Field for the Cubs and Brewers series, those teams will be playing at home again, except for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have 2 cracks at the apple at home, but the Milwaukee and the Blue Jays, even if they lose both games on the road, they still have that
chance to go
last
back
home game
Yeah.
to take care of business. And I think that obviously matters. When we've been watching these games, home field is so important.
Oh, yes.
So important. And
here we are with the Phillies. Couldn't even do damn thing about it.
The Phillies have to be feeling in a
Disappointed?
world of hurt this morning. We're going to talk about the Phillies later, because they don't play again until Wednesday. I want to start with the games that are happening sooner rather than later.
Go ahead.
Before we get into all of that, if this is your first time here, please like and subscribe to this channel and ring that alarm bell. Our mascot, Frexy, is a huge, huge fan of attention. She loves it. Well, we have an afternoon delight today, Nika. Luckily here on the West Coast, a 1 o'clock start time for Mariners Tigers. And I really wanted to just start off by saying this is classic New York media bias right here, as we have the only West Coast team out of 4 teams today somehow getting slotted into the 1 o'clock time zone and games time.
In the afternoon.
And meanwhile, the Yankees and Blue Jays will play at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern time. There's just like no shame here from the media people scheduling these games. And I understand how many people live in New York and LA. And oh, by the way, this is all even worse tomorrow, because the Mariners Tigers start time for tomorrow is scheduled for noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Seems like a huge oversight for the fans.
It's cruel.
It's
outright
Absolutely
cruel. Like you have 2 teams from the West Coast playing tomorrow, the Dodgers and the Mariners.
Yeah, and
so they give the Mariners the noon slot. Meanwhile, the Dodgers get prime time. They get the 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. The Yankees get the time before that. The Cubs and Brewers get the 2 o'clock, and the Mariners and Tigers therefore get relegated
to all the other times,
to the earliest start time instead of, I don't know. It just seems outright cruel to the Seattle baseball fans in all of this.
Absolutely does.
You're accommodating LA fans, of course, giving them the 6 o'clock start time.
And then they wonder why people dislike these 2 franchises.
Yeah, they wonder, like, why don't they like us? Why do they think we're biased towards them? I don't understand.
That's crazy.
It's they do it with no shame. They did this in the wild card round last week, and it's just really not good for the game and spreading it. It doesn't look fair.
No.
You know, and it's probably not as easy for the players who play a majority of their games in the evening throughout the 162 game season to then ask them to play at their best in the afternoon. You know, I mean, I know they play afternoon games and it's the old kids game and we all play in the afternoon and whatnot. The World Series used to have afternoon games. I get it. But like, if we really want to see the best and have a competitive edge with our players and see the best baseball product on the field.
Exposure matters. You want the most eyeballs on your product. You want it to be played at the time when people are at home watching it.
I hope Mariners fans get to catch this game today. Despite the fact that I'm sure a lot of them will have to work past 1 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon.
Well, they can catch the highlights later.
Because it's been really great, you know, to see Julio and Cal Raleigh both show out so far in the postseason. I mean, that's what it's all about, is having your stars turn out. And Julio in particular, getting that home run in game 1 and then getting the go-ahead RBI in the 8th inning of game 2. It's just been really fun to see. And I want to give a tip of the cap to the Mariners for beating Tarek Skubal after dropping game 1 and making this a series, because I thought they were going to go down 0-2 on Sunday night.
I think our heads should go to Jorge Polanco. He's got Skubal's numbers.
Wow, doesn't he? If you want film on how to beat Tarek Skubal, you know what it is with Jorge, though? He has just such a short inside-out swing, you know? Like, he turns on the ball really quick, and Skubal will, as a lefty, pitching to righties, he tries to go in really high underneath the hands of the right-handed hitter. So like inside corner, right near the hand level. And Polanco like must have known it or something, because he was turning on it and jacked it. You know, he did. He was waiting for it almost. And he was like, I'm not missing it.
Nope.
And he did not. He parked it both times in the left field bleachers. Yes. It was great. And it was a really fun game 2, and it was really emotional to see the Mariners fans, you know, with
24 years since they've been to playoffs, so that's a long time. That's a generation if you look at it.
24 years since they won a postseason game. You know, and we saw the tears of joy
we did.
in the fan in the crowd of the game at T-Mobile Park. Jeez. Okay, Nika, well, it's been great, but do you think that the Tigers are going to be able to pull off an upset here? And I hesitate to even call it. Is it still even an upset with them splitting the first 2 games? They won a road game. They kind of have home field advantage now. They have 2 out of the final 3 games at home.
Well, the question is, will Mariners show up? Because they don't play as good on the other side of the country.
Oh, it's been tough for them, right? Let's give them a benefit of the doubt, though. They're going to Detroit, Michigan. They're not going to New York or Boston. They're not going all the way to the East Coast. They're not going to Atlanta, which is a lot further south. They're kind of on the same line as Seattle,
just a couple
height-wise, right?
Sure.
No, I'm joking. You bring up a great point. The Mariners seem like every time they jump time zones like this, it's bad news bears for them, right? And so I am definitely concerned. But I'm holding out hope here that it's the playoffs and we're really focused and hyper-focused, both teams for sure. And I just feel like the Mariners are the better team. Even watching the first 2 games, you know, like I don't want to take anything away from the Tigers. They're a well-managed team, and they definitely are an opportunistic team, you know. But if they don't take advantage of their opportunities, there's not much underneath that to bail you out. Whereas like the Mariners have been winning with their stars getting hits right now. You know, Julio and Cal Raleigh have been carrying this team. I know Jorge Polanco also got those 2 solo homers. But when it mattered most in the 8th inning, when the game was tied the other night, it was Cal Raleigh getting a double and Julio getting a double back-to-back and bringing that run home when you really needed it, giving them a chance to leave without extra innings.
And who is starting for the Mariners today?
Logan Gilbert is going up against Jack Flaherty, our old friend and nemesis from the Dodgers last year.
It might be a pitcher's matchup.
It might be a tight game again, but the first 2 games of this series have been ultra tight.
So you got to score early.
You do. And, you know, this series on the whole just feels bigger to me for the Mariners. I don't know if we're just letting the fact that it's been so long for them get to us, like, and I know the Tigers haven't won the World Series since 1984. So they have a long gap of over 40 years here where they've not sniffed the title. So
Sure.
I don't know, but this series just feels bigger for the Mariners to me because of the maybe rarity of which they've actually gotten to this far. But
Maybe.
if they start to appear more regularly, which is no easy task in the division that they're in,
That's true.
maybe that would change and they can start to feel like Padres fans where it's like, we're just sick and tired of getting to the playoffs and we want to actually win the World Series for a change.
Well, you got to change some things around.
Well, you definitely do. Speaking of which, we're going to change gears and head to New York in the Bronx, where the primetime game that we mentioned will be Vlad Jr. versus Aaron Judge. It's like a damn monster movie in the Bronx, Nika, with these two.
That's definitely that, and they need a Hail Mary just to win today.
The Yankees do.
The
The Blue
Yankees.
Jays have outscored the Yankees so far in this series 23-8.
23-8?
23-8 in the first two games of this series. They had
happened,
a
Yankees?
10-1 game 1 victory and a 13-7 game 2 victory, though that game 2 was 11-0 at one point. I want to ask about our good friend Aaron Judge to start off with. Aaron Judge is batting .444 in the postseason right now this year. He is 8 for 18 at the plate with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs, but he has no home runs. He has no stolen bases. His OPS is over 1,000, but no home runs. And is he disappointing? He hit a home run around every 10% of his at bats in the regular season, and if you take his 18 at bats, he should be at around 1.8.
So what
home
changed?
runs in the postseason, meaning he should have hit 1 or 2 by
Yeah.
now. And, the fact that he has not done that in one of these first 2 games, I feel like is, they never counterpunched the Blue Jays back until it was too late in the last game. I don't know if that gives them enough momentum, though, going into this game. And the Blue Jays just seem motivated by their leader, Vlad Jr., to beat the Yankees.
Okay, so by that reasoning, if he hasn't produced a homer, does that mean the pitching got better? Or it's just a mental that he has a long season fatigue?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of both, coming up in tough situations, not getting pitches that are friendly for you to hit out of the ballpark, and, walking that line between patience and, striking out looking, and it's hard in the playoffs, they want you to swing and miss. Swing and miss becomes really, really, really important. It becomes like the equalizer, if you will, for the pitching team, the team that's on the field playing defense.
Well, there's definitely a lot of strikeouts.
Oh yeah,
in the postseason.
and you see like how we're going to talk about the NL in a second, but Blake Snell and Ohtani the last 2 nights against the Phillies have sort of been able to mitigate damage by getting swing and misses instead of letting them put the ball in play.
That's true.
So yeah, you get that in the postseason, and but the Blue Jays pitching staff deserves credit for executing. Of course, we saw the brilliant performance in Game 2 by Yesavage. Am I saying that right? Is it Yesavage?
Yo,
Yesavage.
Savage. Definitely Savage against the Yankees.
A lot of great young pitching performances so far this postseason, both for the Yankees and then now for the Blue Jays we're seeing. So, but this series goes back to the Bronx. They got Rodon on the mound tonight for the Yankees at home. They got to be feeling good, right?
Yes, absolutely. He's been a pretty decent pitcher for the Yankees.
Absolutely. And then probably looking at Schlittler again if there's a Game 4, because there's no guarantees of that. The Yankees are the first team up for elimination this year in the division series tonight.
I hope they bring their A game so they don't get eliminated. I want this to go to 4 at least games, not maybe.
You want to see a little fight in you.
I do. The 3-game sweep is gonna feel very anticlimactic for the Yankees.
Do you think that they have any chance at all of coming back in this series down 0-2 right now to this Toronto team that you've seen?
Yes, 10% chance.
10%? Okay. I don't trust the Yankees at all not to come back in this series.
I'm just going by the stats.
I don't know. I don't trust it. until it's over
That's
with the
true.
Yankees. There's certain teams that I just don't trust. And the fact that the Yankees were literally the last team to do this in 2017, down 0-2 and come back. I mean, it just shows you right there. They're one of the teams. I know they're totally different.
I know, but
it's
they
a
were-
franchise mentality.
Yes, and they were also the only team that overcome deficit in the wild card game.
Yep, exactly.
So they capable of doing this.
they are. And
Good luck.
yeah, good luck. I expect them to come out
Swinging.
and definitely put on a show. And if the longer the Blue Jays can mitigate damage tonight, the better chance they have of winning and sweeping this series. But if they let New York get some hope early in this game, it's going to be a long night for them, and it might be a couple long nights,
Yes.
and they might have to have an intense ride back to Toronto for a Game 5. And I would welcome that.